Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. So, wow, do we have Tesla stock surging or what? Let's go right into how much it's gone up in the past week, what might be driving it, and the implications for Tesla and so on. So, I will pull up a Seeking Alpha chart. And so, earnings came out last week, and it seems like what Elon Musk said on the earnings call really stoked Wall Street, even though the earnings missed a lot of expectations. His comments about like future guidance and plans that they have for, I guess, future products and whatnot have really gotten Wall Street excited. So it's driving up the stock. A lot of us did not expect to see this. The stock basically bottomed out at like 142 or so, and it was up another almost 26 bucks today. For Seeking Alpha, all three of the ratings groups have it rated as a hold still. But if we look at it over the last 5 days, it's done anything but hold still. From 142.05 all the way to 194.05 today, it has gone up. It has gone up $52 in the last week. Really, that is a actually is that a 36% increase? Yeah, 52 out of 142. That's a wow. That's a 36% run. How about that? Imagine timing that with some call options. It still gets an F for valuation. Most everyone that looks at like cash flow analysis will say that it's overvalued. Of course, some of you that look at the technicals will say that it like basically short squeezed or something. So some of that's a little bit over my head, even though I'm the coach. But I just kind of listen to what some of you say in regards to that. So Tesla year over year is actually in the black from a year ago to today. Of course, we were up to where were we at our peak last year? We hit like 291, and a lot of you called it. You said we would be closer. We would hit 150 before we hit 300. So now that we hit 150, will we cross into 300 now? That's the question. I doubt it, but what do I know? Of course, I personally don't know, but I happen to be in possession of advanced equipment such as the 8 ball. So we'll ask the 8 ball, will we hit 300 in Tesla? And it says, better not tell you now. But when we don't get the answer we want, we can always keep asking until we get the answer we do want. That's what makes the equipment so advanced, of course. It says signs point to yes. Of course, take that with a grain of salt, like I always say. Um, but really, who knows? I mean, could I have predicted this? No, absolutely not. I know there's a lot of happy people out there that are thinking that, wow, we're recovering. So let's now look at the implications for Tesley, of course, the largest yield max fund in terms of assets under management. So Tesley is still down an abysmal 40.56% year over year. But if we look at the last 5 days, it's probably the number one yield max fund. Who would have thought? Number one yield max fund, drum roll, over the last 5 days, Tesley. Well, probably not because I'm looking at Tesla stock. 9% for Tesla. Of course, because remember, we're capped at the upside. So if we look over the last month, we're still down 0.5%, whereas Tesla is now up for the last month. Year to date, we're still down 32% in Tesla. Tesla is still underperforming at 37% in the red. But of course, if we go to our favorite total return, we're going to see this. We've got minus 24, so we're outperforming in terms of total return, which we should be because we are getting a return in the form of a dividend or synthetic dividend. Let's see what we got here. We got G-Man, who happens to be our new first person, always on. Blake says the earnings report was not good, but guidance was promising. I think I came close to hitting the mark there. Richard King, customary greeting there. Okay, so uh, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of positive momentum out of earnings for sure. Uh, let's see what else we got here. So over the last year, Tesla, look at this positive total return over the past year, 4.9%. Don't call it a comeback just yet. Um, let's see, what other news do we have over here? We need like a news tab. Let's see. Profitability growth. A lot of the grades are still kind of across the board. I see a lot of Fs, and F is not for fantastic. I won't do any cash flow right now. Let's see here. Let me go to summary. Let's see what actual news articles we have. Let's see. Buying into the Tesla vision, rating upgrade. So there was a rating upgrade today to a hold. Tesla Q1 facing a liquidity crunch, dilution ahead, rating a hold. We've got a buy rating here. We've got two buy ratings. We've got a sell rating. We've got a hold. We've got a strong buy. Why I am glad I bought more Tesla stock by Victor Dergunov. Tesla sugarcoating fundamental damage. This is probably a more fair assessment here. Tesla reported disastrous Q1 results, but shares rallied the following day. That's because management gave a few updates that the markets can look forward to, right? More investors are starting to realize that Tesla is more than just a car company. Uh-huh. Their vision is definitely convincing, but it still needs to be backed up by strong fundamentals. I would agree with that assessment. Look, the parking lot's empty. It's 3 Teslas short of a Happy Meal. It's a cheesy joke. Okay, a few months ago, I wrote Tesla piece citing that the stock sell-off is far from done and that investors are likely to face max pain ahead. Also laid out a few reasons why I was hesitant to buy the stock and so on. Since that article, Tesla stock fell more than 25%, so he was right, but then it rallied. So essentially, let's see here. This is a good chart. Here we got revenue year over year growth. They're inversely correlated, it looks like. So long story short, that's what we're looking at in terms of why Tesla stock might be rallying. I would honestly draw a blank otherwise. Let's see. Lagging automotive revenue dragged the company down, which was 17.4 billion in Q1, a 13 decrease year over year, primarily due to lower average selling prices, lower vehicle deliveries, slowing global EV demand. So what I see happening, a big thing that isn't getting talked about as much, the federal government gave tax credits for buying EVs, and I think a lot of those have expired, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if those are going to be renewed or not. I think if those were all renewed, that would be a huge tailwind for Tesla. But we'll see what happens with that. But I think that's a big a big reason why we've been seeing Tesla dropping. But it's coming back. Who would have thought? So here's some nice charts and stuff. Anyway, I'm not going to ramble on too long. Let me see. I'll read a couple more comments here. Of course, it's surging. I sold out last week. So you're like me. You feel like it does the opposite of what you expect it to do. Well, I didn't sell yet. I actually need my Tesla stock to get back to like 230 to break even. So let's see. The Tesla plus Baidu partnership is a big plus. Oh, that's a good call there. Uh, Richard King. I need to look at Baidu. Used to be a really good stock. About time Tesla began to climb back up, right? Tell me about it. Let's look at Baidu while we're at it. That used to be a really solid, I want to say, a Chinese company. Let's look at that one. You're telling me something I'm actually not too aware of. So Baidu is rated a buy and a strong buy, and then a hold by the quants. If I'm not mistaken, it's absolutely crashed from where it was in 2021, but what hasn't? And it might be due for a comeback. This might actually be a good buy. Thank you, by the way, for mentioning this. We might be at a good buy point here. I'm glad this is going to be this is going to go back on the coach's radar. We fell as low as 94.41. That had to be, it's like a 5-year low, or that's like a 10-year low. How about that? Interesting. So Baidu, there's the takeaway. That might be a buy. Um, anyway, all right, you all. Well, thank you all for tuning in. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And we will see you all in the next one. Take care. Bye.